Okay guys, I have done what I can for this car.
Just pausing this video real quickly because you might be wondering why the door looks like it has a different shade. When you look at it in person, you can't really tell that there's a difference in shade. I'm not quite sure why it's showing this way on this video. I'm not sure if it's just the lighting in the garage or what, but the VIN decals are intact on both the fenders and the door. So maybe it's just because the fender protrudes further out than the door and might be causing that difference in shade. I don't know, but single owner car, and the previous owner has owned it since new. No accidents, and so I'm not quite sure why it's looking like that on this video. But anyway, just kind of wanted to note that in case you guys are wondering.
I have clayed it, compounded it, polished it, and waxed it. So it's looking a lot better than it did before. I still have not done the wheels. I haven't done the engine bay, but I will eventually do that. So there's a couple things that I still need to get done. As you can tell, I haven't really done much on the roof. I'm gonna probably get that painted and or wrapped. Same thing with the hood. And at this point, I need to do these license plate holes also. I got a trick for that, by the way. If I can find here we go. So basically what you do is you take these retainers, or I should say push pins, and try to get the flattest one as much as possible. What you do is you primer it and you paint it the same color as your car. But of course you need to kind of shave this off a bit, so that when you push this push pin in, it'll lay flat. At that point, it'll look a lot more presentable than those drilled holes. So I don't know, guys. What do you think? So the oxidation has been kind of removed. It's a lot better looking now. I don't know if you guys can see that. I forgot to do some wipe downs here, but certainly looking better than it did before. You guys can kind of tell the paint is definitely a lot better. I still got to do something about this guy right here. May just get a new spoiler. I have some dings, but it's okay. It's a daily. I'm not looking for a show car. It's essentially something that I'm gonna just have fun with, maybe autocross a bit, and just do a bunch of things with it, mainly daily. Would maybe down the road want to track this thing, because she's the one out of the whole bunch that I'm really too concerned about as far as whipping around. I guess maybe because of the fact that it's got some high mileage on it, but I don't know if you guys noticed, I got inspected, so I'm not too worried about driving this thing around. Maybe the first mod is going to be, actually the next thing I'm going to do is a K&N drop-in and suspension. Anyway, all right guys, my phone's ringing. I'll catch you guys later. By the way guys, do you guys know how to get rid of these water stains? I've tried using Back to Black, and the only thing that I've had success on is, believe it or not, Goo Gone. It's not as bad as it is on this side after having used that, but it's still there, so I'm not quite sure how to do that. Instead of having to buy new rubber, whatever you call it. Good morning guys, it is a Friday morning. We got a couple of things that we're going to be doing today on the EVO. Basically it's just simple things. We are going to be filling up the holes on the bumper where they drilled into it for the license plate frame. The other thing that we're going to be doing today is I think I mentioned it before in the last video, that the reverse lights don't work. I just went ahead and bought the reverse switch, and might as well. You know, it's probably one of those parts that fail on a car that's this old, so I might as well go new. So let's get going. Let me show you how that's done. Let me just move the NSX out of the way, get the EVO in here, just so that, well, it was raining this morning, and was it this morning? It was raining last night, and just in case it does rain, I'm not kind of caught outside doing work, but it does look nice outside. So anyway, let's get this thing going and show you how it's done. Okay guys, so the EVO is in. Just gotta now try to figure out what the best approach is. I'm not sure if we can get away with just removing the intake box and or just a battery, but we might end up removing both. So it looks like I can get away with just removing the air box. That is the ignition, well, not the ignition. I just did that, so that's why that's in my head. But that's the reverse switch that we need to replace. So just need to disconnect the battery, and we should be able to reach it. Hopefully I have the socket enough for it, because it doesn't look like we can fit a box wrench on that. So yeah, let's get that done. Well, doesn't appear that I have this is the new one, by the way. I don't have the right size deep socket for this thing. So off to the hardware store we go. So the cool thing is that they have the wrench that I've been looking for, which broke for me. So Craftsman has a lifetime guarantee, so I can bring it in and exchange it. Cool, I should have brought that, but do it next time. So I'm hoping now that they don't make me buy a whole set, because usually that's what they do if you're missing just that one socket. So let's see, 24 will work. Yep, perfect. So we'll use this guy. But let me go see if I can find a 6-point. So one of the bigger reasons why I can afford the cars that I have is because it is company right there. Instant soup. So let me quickly show you guys what it looks like when you're running negative camber and what happens to the tires. I don't know if you guys can see that. So I'm seeing treads on the other side at this point. So tires gotta be changed on this truck. So let's go ahead and move this EVO back. But before we do that, actually we'll do it. I was just gonna go back to the auto parts store or to the hardware store. Reason being is because I had this. You know, in haste, I left to go get the tool, because that's just always been my MO. Because that's what happens when you don't have your tools placed where they needed to be. So at this point, I thought that I did not have the proper size and the deep socket to run this. But check this out. Let me just pull this and just pull the cap off. Why is it so hard to pull it off now? There we go. Move that out of the way. So if you take a look, boom, fits. So yeah, I mean, maybe I should just keep it, but I'm going back anyway. Saved a couple bucks. And this is the tool I was telling you about that was busted. So I am going to replace that when I go back to the hardware store. So anyway, all right, let's get back to this guy and let's move this back to where it was. Okay guys, so I got the old one out. I don't really see anything on how you can expect if it's a bad one or not, but you know, just looks old. But anyway, so I got the old one out. It was I took the longer wrenches so that I don't have to fight with it and be able to have enough torque to be able to knock it out, because I'm not sure if it was rusted on there or what, because since it is old. So I've got the new one in. You know, if you guys can see that, let me put some light on there. That's probably be better. I got the new one in. Basically, it's just a quick unclip up top. You just press it down, pull it out, and it was fairly simple. Didn't have to fight it, which was surprising. There was really no torque specs to this. I just tightened it as snugly as I can, and off we go. Okay, so just a real quick tip. I was fighting the airbox to snugly get into this hose, and so what I had done was, I normally do this, and it makes it a lot easier, is to kind of line the area where you need to slide whatever it is that you want to slide in with some dishwashing solution. Makes it a whole lot easier, and it snapped right in, and it's now flush. So one of the things I also noticed is that I have a hole on the bottom of the airbox. Hopefully that's not detrimental to the way it's pulling air. And also I mentioned in the last video, I think, that I'm going to get K&N, drop-in K&N for this car, but this filter has seen better days. So I think temporarily, just for now, well, actually, you know what? I'll just wait for the K&N. Doesn't make sense for me to buy a standard filter and then buy K&N on top of that. I would just be waiting for the standard filter to run its course before I can drop in the K&N. Just, I guess, just for the cost effect of it. But anyway, so we're all done. Just gonna put it together, and just hopefully that dang reverse light works. So the next thing we're going to be doing is covering these holes up. As I mentioned, if you notice, you see how it's raised, because when it was drilling, it was kind of pulling up the bumper. So I need to kind of shave that down a little bit, just so that the clips will mount flush against the bumper. So yeah, so I'm gonna try to figure out how I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna just put like masking tape around it and just get a razor blade and just be careful and just kind of knock out as much as I can as far as the raised areas. Okay, so did a little bit of it on this hole right here. As you guys can kind of notice, it's a lot less protrusion, so that should be good. So essentially what I did was I just masked this off just in case I slipped. And if you have a sharp enough blade, and this is what I used with a handle, you should be good. So yeah, so off to the other two. So that's going to be a little tricky, because I'm not going to have the kind of clearance I would have with, you know, going downwards. And anyway, let's get those done, and let's start painting the tabs. So you guys are probably wondering, you know, the paint on this thing is really horrendous to begin with. For example, so why bother trying to be exact on the bumper? Well, it's the compounding effect, right? You know, the more you have crap on your car, the more it's gonna look like it's crap. So trying to minimize the amount of crap on this car, just so, like I said earlier, that way it's at least presentable, to a point where I can drive this for a couple of years without having to worry about the paint job, and just how she looks. My concentration is going to be to make sure that she's a reliable car. Maybe down the road, if I can afford it, go a bit further and do a built motor. But everything's going to be the motor and the drivetrain first before I do any aesthetic mods. So in essence, you know, kind of making it it's not really a sleeper, but you know, to a point where somebody will say, that's just a regular Evo, but in essence it isn't. So so that's the goal. So I've done the 3 coats, and all I need to do now is just add a little bit of gloss to it, a clear coat, and I should be good to go. Maybe I'll add 2 layers of that, that way it doesn't fade so quickly, and then pop them on. Remove this bumper would be the following thing I need to do, and paint the grills black, because they are been fading. So and I'm probably gonna most likely remove that middle grill. Not liking it too much. Looks too busy, but yeah, that'll be my next thing. So there it is. Let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. So right now they're pushed in. As you guys can see, I did lose one. Where is it? Where I didn't let it cure, at least the paint, long enough, and as I was pushing the cap in, well, here it goes, and I released my thumb, it pulled the paint along with it. So anyway, even with the primer, so I thought the coarse surface of the tab was enough, that didn't require me to have to sand it. But I guess, well, I should have sanded it. But anyway, the primer should help hold the paint in, and maybe down the road I'll redo it if I needed to. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. Hopefully you guys like the content from this video. Getting to fix the reverse switch today, and making the bumper look a little cleaner. But this, I didn't get to, I guess, shave it well enough, so it's somewhat raised here. That's not so bad. I can deal with it. But at this point, guys, have a good one. Like I always say, be kind and stay humble. See you guys in the next video.